Hey there, it's Sharon here from Business and Wellness. It's coming to the end of 2014, can you believe it? And I noticed today I was finding myself in kind of a reflective mood. I just spontaneous found myself looking back and thinking about my journey and where I've been and where I'm going to. And, you know, the term accidental entrepreneur came to mind. So I know we're all about home business success and making money from home. And I found myself thinking about my own personal journey. And, you know, really, you know, to make a long story short, I had quite a long and successful career in healthcare. And for more than 20 years, you know, I was, you know, a high achiever. I did really well. And then one of those, I want to call it, you know, a life turn happened for me. It didn't seem positive at the time. You know, it took me on a totally different track. And it started me on a health discovery eventually turned into a process of self-discovery. I learned a lot about myself, and it actually, again, on looking back, was my first entry into the world of having a mentor or a teacher outside of the, you know, going to school in the traditional sense. And that experience, you know, it brought me to a place of becoming and making a commitment to being a lifelong learner. And if that's a term that's new to you, I'd highly recommend it. You know, that I think many of us are set up to think that we go to school and we learn things, and, you know, that you get to this destination where you've achieved something and that's where you're going. And really, it's a never-ending sense and journey, I guess, of achievement in our life. And again, you know, as luck would have it, my next redirection led me to personal and business development. And at the time, you know, it just seemed to be an accidental thing. It really did. It didn't seem to have, it wasn't a conscious choice. It was just trusting my intuition and following the next thing that felt right. And it, you know, I guess I'm just so incredibly grateful. You know, again, on reflection, it's a powerful time of reflection for me. I realized that, you know, I got to work with some amazing people. And, you know, you might have heard of Robert and Kim Kiyosaki, and another group was called, I worked with them via a group in Sydney. I'm in Australia here, called Powwow Events, and my dear friends Susie and PJ. And, you know, again, that all seemed at the time just things that happened in life, but looking back, they're major turning points for me. So I'm incredibly grateful, and I'd like to say I'm incredibly grateful to have had the opportunity to work with all those people and to learn. And the other thing that's interesting is that, you know, the lessons learned in those times have been implemented in different times. They've come up to be of higher importance in my life, and at a later date, actually, not right at the time. I'm looking back, I can see where the foundation stones have been laid. And then, you know, it was years later that I realized that, you know, that health recovery situation, it brought a product into my life, which actually was a part of a company that was a perfect fit for my next choice, my next career choice. And that, again, that wasn't an analytical decision. That was a progression. It was like just following my intuition step by step, doing the right thing for me in every point. It was, I guess you'd call it a really organic and almost spiritual realization of what was right for me. So, you know, hindsight is amazing, isn't it? You know, and I was talking to a friend earlier today. You just, in the middle of one of those big changes, you very rarely, in my experience, do people have overview as to what's happening. And I think it's after a bit of practice and seeing some of these life transitions that you can see that really that's, you know, oh, I'm in one of those changes and it may not look so good or feel so good right now, but on the other side of it, I'm being guided or led or pushed, sometimes it might feel like, towards something new and something different. And I would always hold the perspective that it will be a positive change, and that you and your higher choices, whether you have, you know, believe in God or whatever you believe in, your higher spiritual choices are pulling you towards something that's closer to your divine purpose. You know, and I think looking back, you know, again, I can see that it was an obvious transition for me. And if I would be standing up looking down and go, oh, this is where Sharon should be going. But I didn't have that perspective myself at the time. Now it is just obvious. It's, you know, it's like something that, you know, I'm grateful. God obviously had his hand on it, and I'm so deeply grateful. I guess it's time to be grateful at the end of the year, isn't it? So the point is, and the message for you today is that, you know, sometimes we don't really know what those big changes in our life are about. We can't really see the big picture. And I really would, it's my experience. I actually am a healer, and I work with lots of people over the years, over 25 years. And it always will have a high purpose, even if it doesn't feel comfortable at the time. And it's easier said than done, but just embrace it with both arms. Just embrace it. Jump in with both feet and just go, oh, okay, change. And if it feels rotten, just push through until it feels better. And then on the other side, you'll be landing in a different place and more towards, if that's your intent, hold your intent. If your intent is to be more towards everything that you are and to be on purpose with everything that you should be in this life, then that's where you'll be going. So trust yourself, go forth. If we can help you at Business and Wellness, jump back to our website, businessandwellness.com, and there's a contact us form there. You can I'd highly recommend you put your name and email in for the newsletter. It's a great place to be connected. And if I don't know an answer to your questions, if you need something, I might be able to direct you to it. So thanks for being here. I look forward to connecting with you more through the end of 2014 and into next year. Speak to you soon.